This is Carl at National RV Detroit. I'm going to walk you through this 2021 Mesa Ridge fifth wheel, model number 364 BHS. Okay, I'm just going to show you some of the features. We're still cleaning and prepping here, but I'll work around everybody. This is not a floor plan video or sales video, it's just a how-to. So I'll go over some of the features here. So obviously you've got an outside kitchen here. Refrigerator, AC refrigerator, and you have a griddle. Now, let me pull this out here before I say anything else. Yeah, so there's obviously the switch for the gas. Okay. Also down here you have you can see that you have a quick connect for the LP system right there. So you can plug anything you need to plug into it. If you had a grill, for example, you can do that. Okay, so you have this is a 4-point automatic leveling system. So I'll show you how that operates too. There's some controls outside, which I'll show you. Excuse me. And there's a touch panel inside that is basically the same thing, except it has a few more functions to it. Okay. All right. So you have two awnings. They're power awnings with LED strips. Okay. Let me move up here a little bit. Pass-through basement. Okay. You have 3 20-pound LP tanks. Now this trailer is designed and it's wired for 2 batteries. You just have one, so keep in mind you can add a second battery and it'll double your storage capacity. It already has the battery box in there. The reason you would want to do that is for, obviously the leveling system likes to have enough voltage. It's temperamental that way. And the other thing is it has a power inverter, which is right here. So this inverter takes 12-volt DC from your batteries, inverts it to 110 AC, and then it'll send it to your refrigerator to keep it running when you're going down the road, that sort of thing. So this inverts power, so the more battery storage you have, the better. Okay, this is a kill switch for your battery if you want to shut them off, and this is the outside control panel for your leveling system. Now I'm just going to show you how to turn on. You push both arrows at the same time and you're all set. Now of course auto level is the most common function. It also gives you 2 other options: hitch height or retract all. Hitch height is what you're going to use when you're retracting. If you retract all, it'll actually nosedive the trailer. It won't hurt anything. It's just not the position you want to be in. So hitch height, basically, if you don't know this, this will remember the previous hitch height before you auto leveled. So when you pulled into the campground, you unhooked your tow vehicle, you drove it away, and then you auto leveled, it'll remember that the position it was in and return it to that position. So the main thing is auto level and auto hitch height. Okay, I'll show you the control panel inside also. All right, so this would be water here. So you've got your valves here, obviously, your dump valves. You have 3 valves here, and then if you look, there's a diagram. There's 4 different diagrams. So if you're just going to do city water, you'd go by this diagram here, which I'll just show you. It goes like that, and then the blue one goes down, right? You can see that right there. So that would be city water. Now if you needed to fill your tank, let's say you're going to a campsite that doesn't have plumbing on the campsite, you'd go to tank fill, which would be this one here. Oops, now I've done it. It would be this one here, and you fill the tank, then you would go back to pump, because you're going to use the onboard pump to pump the water, so then you go back this way. Okay, and then of course you have winterize and heater or water heater bypass. Okay, I'll put it back that way, right, put it where it was. Okay, and I'm going to look at this, why this little red handle is popping off. It probably just needs to be pushed on a little bit, but I'll have our guy look at it. let's see here. Your city water hookup is right here, right? You'll also use the same hookup to fill the tank. You just change the position of the valves. You have 2 black tank flushes here because you have two toilets in here. So therefore you have 2 black tanks. So you hook after you dump your black tank, you leave the valve open, and then you would hook the hose at the dump station right on here or here, depending on which tank you're flushing, and it'll spray out the inside of the tank, clean off the sensors, that sort of thing. Also, this is a quick connect for your it's a sprayer, basically, a coiled sprayer, which I don't see here yet, but I'm going to make sure you have one in there. Got to make a mental note of that, but I'll look in the trailer when we're in there, and if that's not there, I'll get you one. Okay, so this is your water heater. Now the thing to remember is that this works on 110 AC or LP gas. Right now it's empty because it's winterized. So you see the plug is out, and here's the anode rod / plug right here. This takes an 1 1/16 6-point socket. So you want to get one of those if you don't have it. Plus you need like a 6-inch extension and then something to break it loose with, a ratchet or a bar, whatever you use. And another thing to remember is right here, you can see this rocker switch right here, on and off. That controls the electric heating element that's behind this cover here. Right now it's off because the tank is empty and is bypassed right now because it's winterized. So what I'm getting to is you never run the electric heating element or the gas without water in the tank. You always want to make sure that you've got this tank is filled, and then you turn it on. Otherwise you'll have to, burn out the element. You'll have to replace it. It's not that big a deal, but it's still, a little money and time. So keep in mind that this switch here is here, lower left-hand corner, and that's for the electric heating element that's behind that cover there. There are more switches for this. I'll show you when we get inside. Okay. All right. Low point drains here. You can see them right there. These are more dump valves. Fresh water dump right there, or valve right there. You have this is a 50 amp system, so you got a 50 amp cord. We give you the reducers to reduce it down, of course. And then you have your your rear black and gray tank, which is for those small half bath in the back. Okay. Keep in mind that these jacks have a strong arm on them. You see how it's got that T-handle right there? Keep in mind that once you get into position, you can tighten those T-handles, so it takes the wiggle out of the trailer. But always remember to loosen them up before you retract them. So you're going to have them loosened, except when you get them down, and you want to tighten them up to take the wiggle out. So that's important, of course. Let's move a little farther here. This housing tells us it's pre-wired for a backup camera. Also, you have a ladder, which is great because you need to inspect your roof according to the manufacturer, every 90 days. So keep in mind you have to inspect it on a regular basis. Look for cracking or sealant, cracking in the sealant or separation. You don't want to allow any water to get into your trailer. That's why you inspect it. Also look at the attachments and the roofing material. And excuse me, fellas. And excuse me. Okay. Yeah, you don't want to, if your roof attachments or roof material gets damaged by a low branch or something like that, you want to be aware of it. The way you'd be aware of that is just by inspecting it, obviously. Okay. Okay. That was a long way to go for something simple. So this is a half bath here. It has a flush pedal right there. Always remember that you have to have chemical and water in the toilet before you use it, like any other trailer. So after you get to the campground, you hook up your power and your water. You'll come in here, put a dose of chemical, and then stand on the pedal until about a gallon or so of water goes in the tank. All right. Let me shut this music they got going off here so I can hear myself. Okay. So we'll start here at the control panel. So you have 3 slide rooms here, of course. You've got the 2 awnings. Now these awnings are automatic in the sense that when you turn it on and you push extend, it's going to keep going. You don't have to keep your finger on the button. Most of them you do, but this particular product you don't, so keep that in mind. Same way with retracting it. Okay, you have all your lights here. Your water heater on gas, on electric. Remember I told you there's a second switch. It's out outside on the lower left-hand corner by the heating element, so keep in mind that that's there also. You have your water pump, which you use to pump water from the tank. You also use it to winterize the trailer. Now, black tank, it shows 1 and 2. 1 is up here in the main bathroom, 2 is the other one. That's just a way so you can check the levels in the 2 black tanks. You just have to switch it, okay? Also, you can make an audible alert by pushing that button, which most people don't do. I sure wouldn't. Your battery's charged, fresh water, black, and then of course you can switch to black 2, right? And then the gray 1 and gray 2. So this graduates in 1/3 increments, of course. So once it gets past 2/3 lit up, you're going to have to start thinking about dumping your black and your gray tank anyway. Okay. Thermostat works like any other thermostat. You just hit the mode button to light it up and keep hitting the mode button until you go through all the different options, fan, cool, and then of course furnace. If it gives you an option for the fan, like auto, always choose auto because that's the best way to go. This is a remote for your roof fan here, your ceiling fan. So you can see if I turn it on here, it opens up the cover like so, and when I shut it off, it'll close it. He says in theory. Oh, I pushed the wrong button. There we go. So that'll close it. Okay. And then you have, you can do that manually from here also. Okay. Your 2 tables are stored here. Let's see if I can get my finger under there. Your 2 tables and the posts are stored right there. You always have to take the tables down when you bring in the slide out because they come awful close to this here, so keep that in mind. Also, while we're standing here, this is the carbon monoxide LP gas detector. It works like they all do. It should always be green. If it's not, get it serviced. And also, if it beeps very slowly, it's telling you that your batteries are low too. So it's also a low battery alarm. Alrighty, so the refrigerator works like any refrigerator. This is the microwave here. Also has a let's make sure that tape's off there. It has a fan built into it and a light, 2 feet fan and a light. So it just takes the place of the range hood. Okay. Now this oven works like pretty much all the ranges do. This is the sparker right here. You turn it clockwise. You got 3 burners and 3 knobs, and then this one is for the oven. So you just turn it on and then you spark it till it lights. I'm not going to sit here and go through the whole thing because we don't have time to do it. But once you have gas in the line, then it'll just light immediately. They haven't got to that point, so I'm not going to mess with it. But when you talk about the oven, down here there's a pilot light at the back, all the way to the back, and you can see that sparks back there. So what you do is you go to the oven knob, you go to the picture of the pilot, you depress it, keep it depressed, spark it till it lights, and after it lights you hold it for another 10 seconds or so to heat it up. Then you go to operating temperature, whichever temperature you want to use, and it'll cycle through. But when you turn it off, the flame goes out, but so does the pilot light. So you want to make sure that you light the pilot light each time you use the oven. Okay. Okay. All right. So let's see here. You have a TV, obviously. But there's the TV remote. You have a sound bar. This is the remote for the sound bar. You have FM radio. It has Bluetooth, so you can stream wirelessly from your phone or tablet. You got a USB to stream off of. This HDMI is an in. Let's say you wanted you have a portable Blu-ray player or something, and you want to go into the system. You could set it right here, for example. Plug it in here, and then plug the HDMI right into there. Okay. Also, it has 2 speaker zones, 1 and 2. 1 is inside the trailer, 2 is outside the trailer. Okay. Now the fireplace has a remote also, basically on and off. You can, I'll do it from here so I can show you. I guess I gotta get closer. You can change the appearance of things. You can also set low and high. If you can see that, that's the fan speed. It also has a built-in timer, so you can set the timer. You know, if you wanted it to kick on 20 minutes before you get up in the morning, you could just set it that way. Okay. All right. Also, let's see what we've got here. Okay. Also, you can convert the couch. Got these backs here. You can always have that. You can take the backs off and use it to sleep on. Okay. So let me move up towards the bathroom now. Got people walking around me and so much going on. I'm trying to stay focused here. Okay. So the sink and shower work like any other sink and shower. Okay, there's nothing unique about that. Now this closet is also where you would install a washer dryer combo if you chose to. So it's plumbed. You can see the plumbing right there. Plumbed and wired for a washer dryer combo if you wanted to add that. Okay. This is a Gfci. There's going to be probably 2 of them in this trailer. The other one will be towards the kitchen probably. So all the plugs, just so you know, every plug in this trailer and also the plug on the outside are all wired to a Gfci. So you'd have to reset it inside if it pops. Again, the toilet, the same thing applies. You need a dose of chemical and a gallon or so of water to start using it. Otherwise, the smell will be terrible, and it can also get clogged up. So you always want to make sure that you before you start using it, you put at least a gallon of water in with chemical. Okay, you have your wardrobe slide, of course. This is your bed here, where the bed goes into different positions, as you well know. Okay. Second thermostat here. Second air conditioner here. This is a backing plate if you want to add a TV back here, and there's the buttons. Buttons. I'm sorry. There's the hookups, the signal, and then the antenna. I'm sorry, the plug, the electrical plug and the signal, and this tells us that the signal booster is on. You can shut it off like that if you wanted to, but if you're using the antenna, you always have to have that on or you won't get a good picture. Okay. This is just telling us it's pre-wired for a Wi-Fi, public Wi-Fi signal booster, which would consist of an antenna on the roof and a router inside the trailer. So if you wanted to add that at some time, you can go to this website and look at their different products, talk to our people, whatever you want to do, but it is an option. Okay. Sorry about all the close-up camera work, but that's the best I could do with this camera under these circumstances. So now I showed you the power inverter, which was up front, right? The inversion is turning 12 volt DC into 110 AC, right? Well, this is the converter, the power converter does just the opposite. It turns AC to DC power. So what happens when you're plugged in, you've got this AC side, 110 AC, these are circuit breakers just like you'd see at home, and they're all labeled, right? Then the power is converted to 12 volt DC right here. You see you got 12 volt fuses and a breaker, and they're all labeled. So that's where the 12 volts come from. This is also a battery tender, so it'll sense how much energy your batteries have and keep them charged up. If they're topped off, it'll trickle a couple amps up there, and if they're low, it'll send 10 amps or whatever they need to stay charged. So this charges your batteries when you're plugged in, and of course your tow vehicle's alternator will charge the battery when you're going down the road. Okay? Alright, so, and these are your keys, of course. Okay. This might be the most disjointed video I've done yet. Could be an award, but I'm doing my best here. So, okay. So I want to thank you for purchasing your trailer here at National RV Detroit. Please remember what I said about using the or going up on the roof and checking the seals and make sure there's no cracking or separation, make sure nothing is damaged by low branches, that sort of thing. And as I stated earlier, right now this trailer is winterized, so it has antifreeze in the system and the water heater is empty and bypassed. Okay, thank you.